I just wanted to talk about the subjectivity of truth from circle to circle, from group to group, from person to person. I'm sure there are certain laws of the universe that are not subjective, but I think for the most part, and for more literal, objective purposes, we can say that from group to group, from place to place, family to family, person to person, things are changing. The rules change. And the easier you can adapt to those changes, the better you'll be at survival. And so I just wanted to go over this for anyone struggling with anything transitional. And I think part of that struggle of transitioning can be in this idea that the rules that were applying to you before are applying to you in this situation when they're not, and that keeps you in stagnation. The rules that apply today may not apply tomorrow. And so it's important. I think that's why there's many teachings about letting go, non-attachment, things like this. It's really non-attachment. People might think of that as like just something spiritual that gives them comfort, but it's also a survival strategy. It's something that can help people transition. Like, the more you're willing to gently and easily break patterns and adapt, I mean, that's useful in many situations. I will say that. It will make things a little easier. So many of us grow up in different schools, churches, societies, where the rules are constantly instilled and drilled into you, and you're supposed to follow those constantly. But then you're sitting in the classroom learning this information, and when you go to apply it, none of it matches up, interestingly enough. And from that, I would say that truth cannot be taught in a spoken word sense. It cannot be written. And I know that might be a radical idea. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I love learning. But when you are in action mode, when you are in practice mode, when you're you realize that all of those teachings were not relevant to the things you're doing then. What got me to this conclusion was all the religious teachings I had about the afterlife and then having a near-death experience. Now, some people say near-death experiences are experiences that your brain replays upon getting oxygen flow back into your brain, and whether it was that or not, my experience was that everything I learned in religion compared to what I felt was a true experience of experiencing life after this was drastically different. And I do think it's a fragmentation that society has, that what we learn in the classroom also doesn't really, it's not applicable. And again, that's my experience. And it might be that experience that I had because the values I was learning in school versus the values I was learning in religion versus values I was learning at home and values I was learning from books or things I was reading, many of those were in direct and extreme conflict with each other. That is another thing that will put you in stagnation. So I do like the idea also in spirituality of seeing each moment as completely brand new and a moment in and of itself, as if you were almost reborn. And that could be a coping strategy in one sense, but in another sense, it's gonna get you on your game. And me even talking about this, saying any of this, it's all wordplay. Even this. Like, you are gonna go out and experience your own thing that nothing can describe, that nothing can be written about. And if you try to describe it and write about it, the people who read it and listen to it will not experience it in exactly the same way. But we still try to connect in these ways. And we try to get together and understand each other so as not to feel alone in our experiences. But yes, I do find from my own experience that from group to group, the rules are subjective and the truth is very subjective from place to place. And the truth of one group usually directly opposes that of another very, very often. And I think the reason I see things like this is partly because I'm a Pisces, so it's almost like being the last sign of the zodiac. I see and understand a bit of every other zodiac sign experience, and internally I validate it, but I also am having my own experience that seems quite different. So often it's like, yeah, I get it. Does that mean I'm going to do the same thing? I really can't. That's not how reality works. I can't experience your experience, but I can empathize what you would feel as much as I can while finding the values from all of these systems that actually play out and work objectively. And that's a hard thing to do.